A successful businessman, who had been growing his company for years, decided he wanted to see every corner of it. But this time, he did things differently. He snuck into one of his stores as an undercover employee, acting just like any regular guy. However, that day, the kindness shown by a cashier completely changed everything. The young guy who even paid out of his own pocket to help became a hero in the CEO's eyes. So, how can one person's kindness transform the future of a company? This undercover visit ended up not only shaking up the business world but also touching hearts. If you want to watch more videos like this, don't forget to hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. David Harris wasn't your average CEO. At 45, as the proud founder of Harris Market, he had transformed his journey from a single store in a quiet neighborhood into a shining chain in New York's busiest areas. Along the road to success, the warm charm of his little shop had gradually given way to a corporate structure and the cold language of numbers. But as his business grew, David started to drift away from the day-to-day operations of his stores. Although reports and statistics showed rising sales and an expanding network of branches, these figures didn't tell the whole story. The expressions on his employees' faces and the genuine warmth customers felt when they stepped into the stores were hidden behind those chilly numbers. Gone were the days when every customer who walked through his door seemed to be greeted with its own story. David was no longer just responsible for managing a growing company, he also lived with the emptiness that came from overlooking people's feelings, hopes, and expectations. An inner questioning began: what does success really mean, and where has true service and that human touch gone? Despite the growing excitement around Harris Market, what really mattered to David Harris was figuring out how to revive the customer satisfaction and respect for his employees that he once held dear. Even though numbers and growth stories took center stage, he now longed to rediscover the soul of the business, the real emotions of people and those small, precious moments in life. David Harris thought he needed to do something. So, without telling anyone, he decided to visit one of his stores undercover. But this visit was going to be more than just an ordinary shopping trip, he was going to act not just as a customer, but as a real employee. First, he picked one of the busiest stores in Manhattan. This was one of Harris Market's top-performing branches, and seeing what was happening there would remind him of the soul of his business. As he stepped through the door, he found an atmosphere where he wouldn't stand out as a regular customer, but he could closely observe the energy and hustle of the employees. Thanks to the fake ID and his unassuming look, he started chatting with one of the staff members. He had genuine conversations about their daily routines, the challenges they faced, and even the little, meaningful details. It was in these seemingly ordinary moments that the real stories behind the store caught David's attention, stories of hopes and disappointments hidden in the hearts of both the employees and the customers. In the background of the store, everything from how the shelves were arranged, the way inventory was managed, to the tired expressions on the cashiers' faces, all reflected a balance caught between the drive for growth and the human factor. David felt deeply that the value of those lived moments and personal touches went far beyond just numbers. This experience showed him that true success in business isn't just measured by profit figures, but also by the satisfaction and genuine connection of both employees and customers. For David, Harris Market was no longer just a chain of stores, it had become a place where real stories, hard work, and emotions came together. This unexpected experience was set to completely change the way David Harris did business, his vision, and most importantly, his approach to people. The future of Harris Market was now going to be built not only on growth numbers, but also on the fabric of real life. Dressed in an old pair of jeans, a hoodie, and a cap, he managed to look completely ordinary. His hair was a bit tousled and his beard had grown out. His simple look was so effective that no one would recognize him. As he stepped through the store's door, the lively atmosphere inside immediately caught his eye. Customers were happily enjoying their shopping while employees were carefully organizing the shelves. Then, out of the crowd, his gaze landed on Chris, a young guy in his mid-20s with an infectious smile. Chris greeted every customer warmly, almost calling each of them by name. His genuine attitude perfectly captured the spirit of the store. he was more than just a cashier, he was like a real friend to everyone. David was deeply moved by Chris's natural and sincere demeanor. Little did he know that this heartfelt interaction would soon reveal a much bigger secret hidden within the store and its employees. Chris's behavior whispered that the true measure of success wasn't just about numbers, it was found in the warm bonds between employees and customers. Chris told an elderly man, who was picking up bread and milk, "Mr. Jenkins, this one's on me. Today, you don't have to pay for anything." The old man looked at Chris with a hint of suspicion. "Chris, you do this too often, it puts you in a tough spot." "Please," he said, his voice trembling like a gentle warning. Chris just shrugged with a smile and whispered, "No worries, Mr. Jenkins. It's on me this time." At that moment, David, who was quietly observing from the back of the store, took in this warm interaction. It reminded him once again that this wasn't just a business, it was a reflection of the deep connection and genuine care people had for each other. Noticing the mix of emotions on the old man's face in response to Chris's gesture, David felt admiration for Chris's sincerity while also questioning the sacrifice and courage behind the act. Chris wasn't just doing his job, he was brightening customers' days with small acts of kindness. In that moment, David realized that the true strength of Harris Market lay beyond mere numbers, it was in the heartfelt gestures of the employees. The business wasn't defined by cold reports and statistics. Every little, meaningful conversation with a customer and every genuine, caring touch from an employee were the true building blocks of the store's spirit. Chris's act wasn't just a fleeting kindness among the staff, it was a living example of the trust, loyalty, and human warmth that formed the bond between the employees and customers. Moved by that moment, David decided to rethink his own management style and company culture. The future of Harris Market would be built not only on profit margins but on a value system rooted in humanity and sincerity. That small yet profound moment sparked both Chris's heartfelt approach and David's inner transformation, resonating through the walls of the store as the beginning of something truly meaningful. When David saw Chris paying for that transaction by taking money out of the cashier's own pocket, he was so stunned he didn't know what to do. Why would a cashier go out of his way to help his customers like that? As the day went on, David's curiosity grew even more as he noticed that Chris wasn't limiting this gesture to just that elderly man. He was approaching other customers with the same genuine warmth, giving small payments to those who couldn't pay, offering special discounts to some, and even adding extra items to certain packages. This situation sparked new questions and thoughts in David's mind. While success in the business world is usually measured by profit figures and growth rates, it seemed like a secret movement of kindness was underway here. David now wanted to learn the reason and story behind all this goodwill. At the end of the day, in a quiet corner of the now empty store, David caught up with Chris, who was still in his temporary employee disguise. Introducing himself kindly, he asked, "What you do really caught my attention. Why do you act this way?" With a slight smile, Chris replied, "Every person I encounter here has a story. Sometimes, even a small gesture is enough to brighten someone's day. It's just my little contribution." That heartfelt conversation resonated deeply in David's mind. In that moment, he realized that the real strength of Harris Market wasn't just in its size or profit margins, it was in the human values growing in the hearts of its employees and customers. Chris's sincere approach was a wake-up call for David, inspiring him to rethink the company's management style and culture. After that experience, David decided to rebuild Harris Market not merely as a commercial success story, but as a space where people truly connect and share hope. In this new vision, the future of the company would be built not on numbers alone, but on the warmth and sincerity that reside in people's hearts. "Chris really has a tough life," said Bill, his eyes fixed on the ground, his voice heavy with sorrow. "He lost his father when he was just a kid. Ever since, he's been working tirelessly to support his little brother. He always helps others, but no one ever notices his pain and struggles." These words left a deep mark on David's heart. In that moment, he began to truly understand the heavy burden, the pain, and the responsibility hidden behind the ever-bright light in Chris's eyes. By the end of the third day, David felt he could no longer stay silent. Before the store closed, David gathered all the employees in the spacious room. This time, instead of keeping his disguise, he took off his cap and hoodie to reveal his true self. Taking a deep breath, he began to speak sincerely. "Hello, everyone. I'm David Harris, the CEO of Harris Market. For the past few days, I've been working alongside you. I want to share something important with you." The room instantly fell silent. Most of the employees looked at each other in surprise, while Chris himself was caught between astonishment and uncertainty. "Chris," David called out, "the kindness and helpfulness you show our customers and each other have always made a difference here. Today, your sincerity and selflessness touched my heart deeply. So, I have a surprise for you." Standing confidently before the crowd, David continued, "Chris, you're not just a cashier. You represent the spirit of this store and show us what real value is. From now on, I'm promoting you. Moreover, we're giving you a substantial raise, and we'll cover your little brother's education expenses. Beyond that, we're establishing a permanent assistance fund for all our employees at Harris Market." These words instantly changed the mood in the room. Faces filled with both surprise and hope. Tears welled up in Chris's eyes, his face reflecting both gratitude and the long-suppressed traces of pain. At that moment, the beginning of a transformation, one that couldn't be measured by numbers alone but touched the hearts of people, had taken place. With heartfelt sincerity and determination in his voice, David added, "Real success isn't measured just by profit margins. It's built on the love and respect we have for our people and our customers. Today, we're committed to reviving the spirit of this store and supporting one another." That emotionally charged moment marked the start of a new era for Harris Market, a future where human values and true connections came to the forefront. With tears streaming down his face, Chris could only manage to say, "Thank you. I helped people without expecting anything in return," he added. David smiled broadly and replied, "And that's exactly why I'm rewarding you." From that day on, that store not only became a model for all other Harris Market branches but also sparked a strong sense of solidarity among the employees. Customers began to feel more valued the moment they stepped into the store, and the staff tackled each day with renewed motivation, fueled by genuine support and appreciation. David never lost the impact of that experience. He decided to visit his stores frequently. No longer was he just a manager focused solely on numbers, he had become a leader who truly understood the importance of his employees, customers, and life's small but meaningful moments. In this way, one undercover visit completely transformed David's perspective and marked the beginning of deep, lasting changes in the lives of those around him. If you want to watch more videos like these, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.